Hi everyone, it's Kaylin. So I'm doing my very first book review and, well, it's on The Mortal Instruments, The City of Bones by Cassandra Clare. I read this book trying to fill a void, and I instead found something completely different that totally blew my mind and I thoroughly enjoyed reading. And I know most people have already read The Mortal Instruments, and they read The Mortal Instruments and then read the prequel, The Infernal Devices. Well, I had the pleasure of reading The Infernal Devices and then going on to The Mortal Instruments. I watched the show, I saw the movie, and my sister read all the books, so I have been spoiled, but there are a lot of things I do not know. So to start with, I wanted to discuss the themes in the book. The ones that I found really prevalent were love, hate, betrayal, forgiveness, prejudice, and discrimination. Reading it, I could tell that this doesn't take place exactly in present time. The fact that Clary is wearing Skechers, I remember wearing Skechers when I was going to school. I was probably like elementary school, and I loved getting fresh Skechers. I wanted to discuss the secrets in this book, how Jocelyn felt she had to withhold all this information from Clary to not let her see this world that she was a part of, which is totally understandable. Things got pretty ugly with Valentine and everything going on. She just had to escape, and she wanted Clary to be separate from that world and just enjoy a normal life. And that's very apparent, and I understand, but at the end of the day, it just ended up kind of backfiring on her. At the end of the day, you know, being a shadow hunter was a part of her. She's from the Fairchild family. Eventually, she should have understood that that had to be Clary's choice and not her choice to make for her daughter. So what I love about Cassandra Clare is that she's great at writing male characters, and they set your expectations up here when really those guys don't exist. Will Herondale doesn't exist, Jace doesn't exist. She also shows the other part of it, which is great. You see the juxtaposition of Luke and then a Valentine. Luke, loyal till the end, fully capable of love and compassion, loving of Jocelyn and Clary, and not expecting anything in return. She shows Valentine, who does not give a rat's ass about Clary, Jocelyn. You know, he's totally misogynistic and discriminatory and prejudiced and hateful and spiteful, and he's just so blinded. Cassandra Clare is so great at creating these relationships, this showing you this immediate attraction, of this sexual attraction, of this physical attraction, of this emotional attraction and connection that we all strive for. What I had in The Infernal Devices between Tessa and Will, and Tessa and Jem, and Charlotte and Henry, and Gideon and Sophie, and Gabriel and Cecily, it's still here in The Mortal Instruments, but in a different way. We get this immediate attraction that you feel between Clary and Jace, and we immediately want them together. We see them even before the whole greenhouse scene where they kiss. So immediately you want Jace and Clary together, and you root for them, and you see how troubled Jace is and how he doesn't really open up and how cold he is and distant. And you see him be different with Clary. And then later on, we find out that they're siblings.
Ew.
At first, I didn't know if he was fully manipulated by Valentine. I wasn't sure if Valentine fully convinced him. Cassandra Clare did make it very clear that he did believe it in his eyes, and Jace has that vulnerability that was easy to take advantage of, and Valentine took advantage of the situation. Why he was able to be convinced was because of that vulnerability. Because if not, you know, we all know he takes chances. He took that motorcycle and took it off the roof. I don't think Valentine frightened him. It was more the sense of he really wanted to cling to that idea of family. There are a lot of really good quotes in the book. Cassandra Clare is, you know, I learn a lot of vocab words from reading this. I don't know how these children know these words. So there are like a lot of quotes that I really enjoy in it that I'm just like, ooh, yes. So one of them is that I really like is, sarcasm is the last refuge of the imaginatively bankrupt. Ooh. If like I use sarcasm, somebody told me that, I'd be like, Yeah, Cassandra Clare is great. She really is great at building characters and writing these one-liners. Like, she just like, bam. So I want to dive into a little bit of the characters. So Clary, she's so much more likable in the book than watching the show. I really like how strong she is and she doesn't really care about physical appearances. She doesn't know she's pretty. Cassandra Clare does a good job of writing strong females. A lot of times we read about females that are meek and mild. Infernal Devices as well. They had very strong females, Charlotte and Tessa and Sophie. Also Clary, total girl power. She had never even killed a demon before and she was able to do it. She put that sensor in there and bam, like, I don't know how she did it. I'd be totally freaking scared. I don't even like cockroaches and I scream and can't kill them. Jace or Jonathan, you really do feel for him when you read. At first you meet him and is very cool and cold and nothing bothers him. You see that vulnerable aspect of him when he's with Clary and the guilt he feels for his feelings for her. It's sad he never grew up really with people his own age, only the Lightwoods. Same with the Lightwoods, that they just have Jace and they never really have that normal aspect of friendship with, you know, people their own age. Simon. Oh, just dorky Simon. He's hilarious. His lines are so funny, but the thing is with him, you do feel bad, but I don't see him ever working with Clary, and it's just, because, you know, a lot of times it's very difficult for females and males to be friends and just friends, and, you know, he wanted more than that, and she just doesn't see it, and that just creates that whole little awkward moment of, like, I only really pictured you as this, but she obviously does love him, but, you know, it's very hard to see someone past what you've seen them your whole life as a brother, as a best friend. And for him, it's very conflicting because you see a Jace and you're like, how do I compete with that? Mr. Demon killing machine, perfect golden eyes and blonde hair. It's hard, and you know you feel for him, but at the same time you root for him, but you just kind of, like, I don't know, imagining him and Claire together is just weird. It's sad to say, but it's like weirder than imagining her and Jace, even though we kind of are told that they're siblings. Ew. I don't know, it's just, it kind of messes with your head. Like, incest, it's supposed to be gross, but I don't know. It's just like a whole Game of Thrones up in here. Alec, you feel for him as well because you know that he's holding back these feelings. He's very repressed and he's rude. He's rude to Clary. I wouldn't be able to deal with it either. I would have snapped back, but the way she kind of snapped back at him and kind of threw his interest for Jace at him was not very nice as well. He was very rude to her, telling her to just leave. Like, she obviously needed their help and he just kind of like wanted her to leave because of jealousy. Obviously, reading about Alec, you want him, you know, to just be himself. Reading it, I wanted him to just tell Jace what's going on and, you know, not to live this lie. It also shows that in the Shadowhunter community, being gay probably isn't respected, just like in the mortal, mundane community. And it's sad. Izzy, you know, you read about her and she's the kind of girl that you want to be. You want to be tall and hot and confident and, you know, kick ass. So reading about her, she's a girl that you want to be, and you know, you root for her. I really love that scene with Izzy and Clary when they both kind of find common ground. Hey, I don't have a lot of girlfriends, and hey, I don't either, but I like you, you know? It's pretty cool. It's nice to have you around. And she kind of is like, I missed you. Hodge, like him or dislike him? He's hard to figure out. I think we don't have all the information. At first, I was like, wow, this dude's really smart. He really cares about the children. He's their teacher. And then it goes into his curse, and I was like, ooh, that sucks. That's not fair. Like, why did you have to stay here while everybody else lives their life? Even the Lightwoods, they got to still live their lives, and just kind of a slap on the wrist, and he just has to stay there and never leave, never go back home to Idris. He just has to stay there, and that's sad to feel trapped, and I don't know why they did him so dirty. I was mad that he just freaking left them and gave Jace up to Valentine, not knowing if he was gonna hurt him or not, and he's just kind of like no backbone, just like, I need to get this curse off me, like very selfish. And it's not those children's fault. The only thing that kind of redeemed him for me was that he sent that note to Magnus to help Alec. That was the only thing, because if he didn't do that, I would have been mad, really even more mad, that he left Alec there hurt, dying, with no help. And I love that Clary ran after him and she was like, like, you tell me what's happening, where Valentine is, where Jace is. And he wasn't for it. He was really going after her to kill her. Really, things are not gonna end well for you, Hodge. Valentine, the evil villain. I hate him. I read about him and you know, it's intriguing. He's interesting because you don't know where he's gonna go, what he's gonna do. He's so calculating that you're just kind of always trying to be like, what's his next step? What is he gonna, he's pure evil. He burned down the house where Clary and Jonathan's grandparents were in, the Fairchilds, old people. He's so hateful of old people. And then they found a baby and baby's bones, and that's who they thought Jonathan was. Jonathan was burned, and really it wasn't Jonathan. It's apparently Michael Whalen's son, and Michael Whalen and his son were killed. Valentine killed them to make it look like he killed himself with Jonathan and the grandparents. He basically created a cult. He got all these misfits and all these people that he thought he could mold and manipulate into doing his dirty work. Him and Luke are parabatai, and when they go into that wolf den to kill whoever killed Valentine's father, his daddy, Luke gets bit, and well, Valentine didn't have his back. His parabatai did not have his back, and Luke got bit, and guess what? He turned into a werewolf, and Valentine just discarded him, gave him a freaking dagger, and told him, hey, kill yourself. The fact that he would do that to his own parabatai, his own friend, that you're supposed to be eternally loyal to, it's sickening. Like, he is an awful person. Unfortunately, now he's back, and he's risen. He has the mortal cup, and he's ready to take over. Magnus is, I love Magnus, and I read a lot about him in the Infernal Devices, so I already had a little backstory, and I've seen the show and the movie, so I knew him before, and he's always been one of my favorite characters. He's just awesome. And so in the Infernal Devices, if you haven't read it, spoiler, he obviously had a crush on Will Herondale, and Will Herondale, his look kind of resembles Alec Lightwood, so you know Magnus is like immediately attracted to Alec. He has a great warlock mark. The eyes, like, if I was a warlock, I would be totally okay with that warlock mark. So question, if you have read the Infernal Devices, spoiler, if you haven't, Church. So Church was in the Infernal Devices, and Will gives Church over to Magnus, but Church is at the Institute in New York, so I'm guessing Magnus gave Church to the Institute. That's why that cat's there. How did he survive that long? So it's like a magical cat. I'll take Church. Jocelyn, we don't see a lot of her. We talk about her the whole time, and to be honest, she irritates me. She's a good mother. She took care of Clary, but like, I feel like she's leading Luke on. Like, I don't even know what she's doing, and she was just kind of, I can't even imagine why anybody would be with Valentine, and they kind of said it was out of sympathy that whole thing happened with his dad dying, so she felt bad and blah blah. But really, what kind of woman gets with Valentine? Like, that just like makes me question her character. And at first I questioned everybody's character who was in the circle. I can't even imagine being married to Valentine or ever being attracted to somebody so hateful. But he's manipulative, and well, I guess maybe she was easy to manipulate. Luke, I love Luke. He's such a sweetie. He takes such good care of Clary. It did really hurt me when Clary called him and he told her to leave him alone, basically, to just not call anymore and just forget about him. I know he did it to protect her. We see that after, and Clary forgives him. I forgive him. We all forgive him. Jocelyn should see that and, boo him up. Finishing the book, I'm super intrigued of reading the next one and wanting to see what's gonna happen next. Really find out if they're siblings, which, I know spoilers. I want to know what happens after. I don't have the full story of everything that's going on. I don't know how everything happens or why things are the way they are, and I'm excited. I hope you enjoyed my book review. There's more to come. As I read the second one, I'll post my review for that one as well. Yeah, I should probably do one for the Infernal Devices too. Bye everyone, thank you for watching, and have a great day.